What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are doing well here. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, do your boy a favor. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel and drop a like. I would totally appreciate it. I really want to get this message out to as many people as possible. We need to help people out here. Guys, so we've been talking about the Fed. Fed's been hiking interest rates. We've been seeing the Fed aggressively attacking inflation. We've been seeing Americans with debt literally getting trampled with higher and higher interest rates. Minimum payments have been increasing. Mortgage payments are increasing. And if you've got any kind of variable rate debt, whether it's a credit card, whether it's your debt from your adjustable rate mortgage, your ARM, if you've got any kind of debt out there, and for Americans who are in need of debt, meaning like they need a loan, they're getting bent over the countertops these days, right? So things might be getting a little bit worse, all right? Now, I want everybody to be prepared. I don't want this to catch everyone off guard because a lot of people seem to be having their head in the sand. And if you want to be able to make it through this and reach some degree of financial freedom, you got to understand what's happening, right? So JP Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon, he's warning that a U.S. default, we're talking about a debt default, that a U.S. debt default is likely going to be potentially catastrophic. Okay, folks, like we need to understand the magnitude of this, right? Now, this June 1st deadline is coming up. It's coming up real quick. And for, you know, the lawmakers have to make a decision on this $31 trillion worth of debt. They can't just sit here and just go unpaid. The federal government can't just sit here and not make their minimum payments, right? So, but it needs to get approved. And if they don't approve this thing in time, this will be, according to JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, this could be potentially catastrophic. Now, people are flocking to money market accounts, and myself included. I moved a substantial amount of money over to one of the highest interest money market accounts that I could find into one of the most stable banks that I was able to find. So it's, you know, this is what's really happening, folks. And Jamie Dimon, he's emphasizing the importance of the American financial system as being the foundation of the global economic system as we know it. All right. Now, so I just want you guys to understand the magnitude of what's happening here. And, you know, so money market accounts, right? These money market funds, they invest in safe and liquid instruments. Basically, they're investing in some of the most stable stocks for the most part, right? And they're making them very, very attractive to investors like myself, like you, you know, regular families who are looking for some degree of stability. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm just sharing some information with you and also about what I'm doing. Now, again, people are flocking to these money market accounts, these funds, to protect their money due to the safety concerns that ultimately would be triggered by collapse or has been triggered by the collapse of, you know, financial systems, the current banks that have already collapsed. Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic Bank, Signature Bank, right? And basically, since the start of the banking collapse, like March, $286 billion has been pulled out of the banks from wherever they were, checking accounts, savings accounts, from various different banks, and they've been flooding into these money market accounts. It's crazy. So that's pretty much where we're at. And this is getting real, folks. We have, what, 18 days until the 1st of June? They got to make a call between now and then. Now, the U.S. debt to GDP ratio is now 105%. And this is compared to 65 to 70%, you know, just from the previous downgrade, which was around 2008, 2009, 2010 timeframe. So this is a warning. This is a warning. I want you guys to be aware of what's happening. Now, what can we do? We can certainly seek out the most stable banks possible. Some people are looking to invest in gold. They're looking to invest in silver. I don't know what you guys plan on doing personally. But the other thing that we always need to be focused on is inflation is not going away. And your job's not the only way that you can make money. your cash stream, you know, from different sources, you know, it can vary. So the one thing we don't want to do is lock ourselves into just the jobs. Like your 9-to-5 job. If you're locked into that as your only form of income, you're very vulnerable. I'm just going to be honest with you. This is a single point of failure. And this is what they don't teach us in school. This is why a lot of people are getting caught off guard right now. Now, me personally, you know, I don't, you know, ever since I was a kid, I never really felt comfortable not having multiple streams of income. I always had a couple of side hustles. They didn't call them side hustles back then, you know, but side hustles were essentially what they were, right? Now, you know, your cash stream from, you know, different sources of passive income, it generally will require some kind of upfront work unless you've got a ton of cash. Now, if you've got a ton of cash, the game is always going to be skewed in your favor. But, you know, once you set it up, you know, it could take little to no time to maintain, right? But the key is you got to get these passive income streams set up, right? And so, you know, while it could take some time to see the fruits of your labor pay off from these different passive income efforts, earning money without regular work is possible. And so this is what I've been focused on for many, many years, right? So, you know, one of the easiest ways you can kind of get this thing going is, you know, if you got some cash, there's a number of different dividend stocks that you could be investing in. You've got platforms like Webull, M1 Finance, Vanguard, Fidelity, E-Trade, you name it, right? Now, if you purchase a dividend stock, you'll be receiving regular payments from the company. And in most cases, these companies will pay out dividends on a quarterly basis. So what that means is that like every 3 months, you could be getting a check from these stocks, from these companies on the S&P 500 paying you. Now, me personally, you know, if I don't need the cash, I'm just going to go ahead and reinvest these dividends so that these companies pay me to buy more of their companies. And then the more of the stocks, shares that you own, the bigger your payout's going to be because you're going to have more shares. And each of these shares is paying you a certain amount. So my goal is to continuously increase the number of shares that I hold, that I own, right? And so, you know, this is just one way, you know. Now, for those who don't want to pick individual stocks, you could look at ETFs that pay dividends. So basically, these are, you know, you can look at mutual funds or dividend yielding ETFs. Now, it's worth taking into consideration that, you know, even high yield stocks require some kind of significant investment in order to produce enough income to live off of. But the key is to get started. So you don't have to live off of the income generated right away, you know, when you're starting out. But over time, it can grow to a point where you can actually live off of it. Now, for example, there's this drug company called AbbVie, and it's considered to be a dividend aristocrat. Now, this is basically paid a steady dividend for its entire life. It only pays around $5 per share per year in dividends. So with that in mind, in order to make, say, $40,000 a year with AbbVie stock, you would need to own like 8,000 shares. So that's not necessarily going to be a feasible option for everybody. Now, another option, I'm going to give you guys multiple options to generate passive income regardless of your financial situation. So one of these methods that I'm going to share with you guys is going to be likely a good fit for you. So let's go. So let's talk about the next one. So the next option you could do is you could be investing in high yield savings accounts or certificates of deposits, also known as CDs, right? So CDs are basically they're basically savings accounts that are timed. And so basically you put your money in for as little as 6 months, but you could also put your money in for as long as 5 years. And so when you deposit money, the bank will offer a specific interest rate, which will be deposited on a regular basis into your CD account. And this is normally like on a monthly basis, right? So CDs have become very popular in recent months since interest rates have gone up drastically over the recent years. They went from basically 0 to like 5% today, right? So you could be earning 5% of your money for basically doing nothing. So that's passive income. So for example, let's just say, you know, you had a 19-month CD from Bank of America, Chase, US Bank, whatever, right? You could yield as much as 4.70%. So, you know, let's just say you had $10,000 and you decided to lock it up into a CD, that would pay you about $470 a year, right? Now, what kind of different banks offer CDs? Well, I mean, there's all sorts of banks out there. You got SoFi, Citibank, you got BMO, you got Bank of America, Barclays, Capital One. So pick your favorite bank, whatever bank you feel most comfortable with, and then just check their rates. See what kind of rates they're paying on their CDs. Now, the next thing that anybody could start, even if you got no money, you can do affiliate marketing. Now, affiliate marketing happens basically when you share and you recommend different products to other people and you earn a commission every time that somebody purchases the product. It's kind of like a real estate agent, right? Real estate agent doesn't own the house that they're selling. They're basically just telling people, hey, there's a house for sale. If you want it, buy it. And if people buy it, then they earn a commission. And this is affiliate marketing. So basically some popular ways that people share their affiliate links. Most people are going to share their affiliate links through social media. This is where everybody's at. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. Ain't nobody on MySpace, but if you want to share it on MySpace, that's cool too. Twitter. People might have websites. And of course, you know, if you build an email newsletter, that's another way you can share your affiliate link and earn commissions. And so, you know, how much can you make? Well, let's talk about that, right? So the cool thing is you don't really need to invest a whole lot of money for this particular type of passive income business. For this passive income stream, you could literally start it with no money. And I've done this before. And if you guys want to learn step by step from me how to do this, definitely drop me some comments down below. Maybe I'll do a workshop or something like that and just kind of walk you guys through how to get this set up, how to get your checking account set up so you can receive the direct deposits from the companies that are paying these affiliate commissions out, and also, you know, how to structure getting traffic, getting people, you know, relevant traffic, people who are interested in your product to buy your product, right? So if you guys are interested in learning more about that, hit me up in the comments down below. I'm gonna do what I can for you guys. But let's just talk a little bit more about this. So like, you know, like even people with like small social media accounts with like less than 1,000 followers on Instagram, for example, they're going to have a harder time convincing affiliates to add them as partners. And, you know, you make the most money when you have like 50,000 followers or more. Granted, but most people aren't going to have 50,000 subscribers or 50,000 followers. So basically the influencer marketing blog that's called Hyperadvisor, they found that these micro influencers, we're talking about people with small social media accounts, right? Like 1,000 subscribers, for example, right? 1,000 followers on Instagram. They're earning an average of $1,400 per month. I mean, who couldn't benefit from an extra $1,400 per month? And guess what? If you're doing it on a regular basis, you're gonna grow. So, you know, you start at $1,400, you know, on the low end. Now, of course, you could, obviously, if you're starting, you're gonna start at zero, right? But the average people who have been doing it for a little bit, and they got a small following, they're making like $1,400 a month, right? But these huge influencers, like the bigger influencers, they're earning $15,000 a month, $40,000 a month, right? Now, I know that sounds unrealistic, but when you get your first sale, then you realize that this thing is real. So don't worry about trying to make $15,000 a month. Just worry about getting your first sale, which will happen, right? And we'll talk about that in future videos if you guys want to learn more about that, right? Now, of course, there's real estate investing, right? Everybody's heard of real estate investing. The earning potential, you know, regular rental income, passive income from your rentals, you know, it basically means that you need to purchase a property. You need to purchase some real estate, and you got to prepare this property, and you need to manage the property, right? Now, you can manage that property yourself. You can hire a management company. When you're starting out, it's probably less expensive. It is going to be less expensive to just manage it yourself. But whether you're renting it out for the short term, now for short term, you know, this is like, you're probably going to list it on platforms like Airbnb, VRBO, things like that. But make sure your property cash flows before you invest in it, right? You can also rent your property out for a long-term purpose, you know, and once it's established, it can provide you with a very, very predictable income source. Now, if you're interested in real estate investing, but you don't really want to, you know, manage the property yourself, basically, you can use platforms like Realty Mogul. this is basically so Realty Mogul. It's a real estate investment platform that allows regular people like me and you to invest in commercial real estate properties with as little as $5,000. Now, usually you want to get into real estate, you're going to need, you know, $40, $50, $60, $70,000, right? But the cool thing about Realty Mogul is you can get started investing in real estate properties, commercial real estate properties, for as little as $5,000. Now, is now the best time to get started in that? I don't know about that. Me personally, I think that we're going to see a significant correction, if not a collapse, in the commercial real estate investment market, the commercial real estate market. So CMBs or CMBS, commercial, commercial mortgage-backed securities, they're going to experience some significant pain in the next, between now and the next 36 months. So me personally, I'm waiting for blood in the street before I really get into this. But the thing is, you need to be aware of these things so that when these opportunities open up, you're prepared to take advantage of them, right? So basically, through this particular platform called Realty Mogul, you can, investors can have access to a wide range of real estate investments. You're talking rental properties, commercial buildings, development projects and whatnot, brand new builds, luxury apartments under development. Yeah, so lots of different things out there available through that platform. But remember, timing is important. Time in the market's more important than timing. But I think right now, specifically commercial real estate, it's going to pull back. Now let's just talk a little bit about peer-to-peer lending, right? Now, you lent money to your friend before, right? And hopefully they paid you back. But peer-to-peer lending is a type of personal loan where you are, you join this community of other people, other lenders like yourself, and other borrowers, people who need to get loans, right? So this particular type of personal loan is like where you as a peer, you lend money to borrowers, and then you'll earn income in the form of the interest that you paid back. So this helps you to reduce risk of lending your money out to a borrower who might end up defaulting on the loan or just simply not paying you back, right? We talked about a lot of these repos coming down the pipeline, cars getting repossessed, and that is picking up, right? So what you will want to do is to diversify your investments and make sure that, the inevitable default that will happen doesn't take you out, right? So what you can do with these peer-to-peer platforms is if you have a certain amount of money that you want to make available for loans, you can distribute your money among, out to like hundreds, if not thousands of different borrowers. That way, one person who might not pay back on time or might not pay back at all doesn't cost you all of your money. Basically, lend $5 to this guy, $5 to this guy, $5 to that guy, and you keep doing that until you've got, 1,000 different people paying you, and then you're diversified. So peer-to-peer lending is definitely one way that you could be, diversifying your capital and deploying it into the market to generate some passive income without lending it to just one person, right? So now let's talk about real estate investment trusts. So these are REITs. I love REITs. And you can get, basically you can have a less stressful, but also unfortunately less lucrative return on real estate investments with what's called a REIT, right? And so basically, instead of buying the real estate yourself, it's a fund that invests in real estate and then it pays you a dividend, right? So basically it's like an ETF for real estate. And so you're basically investing in management companies that will either buy or manage existing real estate, and then you earn the dividend. So you ain't got to deal with putting tenants in the property, collecting rent from tenants, evicting tenants, or any of those headaches, right? You don't have to deal with the headaches of repairs that inevitably need to be done on these properties. If you invested in a REIT, you don't have to worry about that headache. Basically, you don't have to purchase a property. You don't have to have good credit to buy the property. You don't need. So whether you have good credit or bad credit, you can invest in a REIT, and the entry point is so much lower than pretty much any other kind of real estate related investment. So it's attractive for that reason as well. And so basically you just buy shares in companies that own commercial real estate, such as apartments, apartment complexes, hotels, and office spaces. Now, I did just say that I'm not a big fan of commercial real estate right now, right? But to be honest, I'm really more specifically not a fan of office related commercial real estate, mall related commercial real estate, right? Now, me personally, I feel a lot more confident in hotels, which is commercial real estate. So it really depends on what segment of commercial real estate you're looking at. Apartments, right? Apartments and hotels, I think that those are going to fare better than offices. Always wait, always look for the good deals and understand the market before you ever invest in anything. Always do your own due diligence. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax advisor. So, always seek your own professional financial advice from a licensed professional. What else could you do? You could list your own property on like Airbnb. You could list your own property on VRBO. And you might say to yourself, well, I'm living in my property. What a lot of people don't realize is that you could rent a room in your house. And, it depends on your situation. Maybe you're not to a point where you want to do that, but maybe you are. Maybe you're a traveling nurse and, you're not home that often. So it's like, okay, you could rent your house out when you're not there. Now, obviously you have to be okay with people living in your personal space, but it's an option. I'm just putting it out there, right? And you can generate revenue, income, passive income, have a cleaning company come in after every person leaves. And your house could actually be cleaner than when you live there 100% of the time, because you'll have a professional cleaning service cleaning up after each person leaves. So it's an option for you, right? You can create an online product, now, basically you could create online courses, ebooks, print on demand products, and generate, passive income through your e-commerce store, these are options. Depends on what kind of skills you have, right? So I just wanted to share some of these passive income methods, some of these side hustle ideas with you guys. For the most part, most of these businesses could be run from home. So these are home-based businesses, don't necessarily need an LLC. Of course, you can set up an LLC if you want. Depending upon how much money you make, it may not necessarily be advantageous for you to set up an LLC right out the gate, but setting up an LLC is not that expensive. So it might not necessarily be a bad thing to just kind of start out proper to begin with. Then you open up a business bank account, and then you're pretty much on your way. But drop me some comments, guys. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know how you guys are preparing and getting ready for this economic collapse that is inevitably going to happen. But at the same time, a collapse means that there's going to be a significant amount of discounts on paper assets and essentially all assets. So if you're ready, if you're prepared for this asset collapse, you could literally be a part of one of the greatest wealth transfers in history. If you guys are new to the channel, please do your boy a favor. Go ahead and drop a like for the video and subscribe to the channel. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Be safe.